Okay, so we're 25 days into a war that's pretty much grinding the global economy to a halt. And then the Trump administration does something nobody saw coming. They sent Iran a secret 15-point plan for a ceasefire, and they did it through a back channel in Pakistan. Now, this could be the big breakthrough we've all been waiting for, or it could be something much, much more dangerous.
And that right there is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Is this a genuine peace plan, or is it just the warm-up for an even bigger escalation? Because honestly, the signals we're getting are pointing in two completely opposite directions at the exact same time.
So it all comes down to this one number, 15. 15 secret conditions that America has laid out for Iran to end the fighting. And as we're about to see, the response from Iran was, well, it was immediate, and it was defiant.
And you got to look at the timing here. It's absolutely critical. On March 24th, the U.S. formally submits this peace plan. And then, on the very same day, Iran's military drops a video with a message that could not be clearer. Not now, not ever. That's a direct, public, and total rejection.
And wow, this slide really just says it all, doesn't it? While one hand of the US government is extending this peace offer, the other hand is signing deployment orders for 6,000 more troops. So, which is it? What's the real play here? Let's try and break it down.
Okay, so to really get why this is all blowing up right now, you have to look at the immense pressure that's been building up behind the scenes. This isn't just about military strategy anymore. This is about a looming global economic crisis.
Let's just break down the reality on the ground. The war is almost a month old. The Strait of Hormuz, that's the jugular vein of the world's oil supply. It's shut down. That's a full 20% of all daily oil just stuck. And here's the crucial part. The White House is privately terrified that the high gas prices you're paying right now could stick around for months. That is the pressure that's driving the secret diplomatic push.
And leading up to all this, the information we were getting publicly was, well, it was a total mess. President Trump would come out and claim productive conversations were happening, and then, almost immediately, Iranian officials would go on the record and deny that any talks were taking place at all. It just created this fog of confusion, which was the perfect setting for this secret plan to finally leak.
All right, let's actually walk through how this all went down, because the last 48 hours have been, it's just been a masterclass in diplomatic whiplash. The signals have swung from peace to war and back again in just a matter of hours.
Just look at this timeline. It's wild. On March 23rd, Trump postpones military strikes, saying there are productive conversations. Hours later, Iran's parliament speaker says, "What conversations?" Then on the 24th, the US submits the plan, and what does Iran's Revolutionary Guard, that's their elite military, the IRGC, do? They fire missiles at US bases in 3 different countries. You can't make this stuff up. It's a stunning series of contradictions.
And then, right in the middle of all this chaos, on the same day missiles are flying, President Trump stands in the Oval Office and makes this declaration: "We've won this. This war has been won."
And then, almost like a direct answer, this is the message that comes blasting out of Iran's military. Someone like us will never come to terms with someone like you. Not now, not ever. Those 2 statements were made on the same day. They can't both be true. Something's got to give.
So, what's going on behind the curtain? Who are the other players here? To really understand what's happening, you have to look beyond Washington and Tehran. You have to look at the other forces who are shaping this deal from the shadows.
So first up, you've got Pakistan, and you might be asking, why them? It's simple, really. They're one of the only countries on the planet that has a good, working, trusted relationship with the Trump administration, with Iran, and with the major Gulf states like Saudi Arabia. That makes them pretty much the only one who can do the job here.
But, not everybody is thrilled about these secret talks. For Israel, a key US ally, the big fear is a premature ceasefire. Try to see it from their perspective for a second. A quick, messy deal that leaves Iran's core strategic assets totally intact. That's a huge win for their biggest rival. If Iran's nuclear know-how, their military command, and their network of proxies all survive a war with the United States, they're going to come out of this more emboldened than ever. For Israel, that is a nightmare scenario.
And this is the real bombshell. It's not just allies who are worried. According to the president himself, his own defense secretary, Pete Hegseth, and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, Dan Kane, were quite disappointed by the idea of a ceasefire. This points to a massive split right inside the administration about what the ultimate goal of this war even is. The 2 top military commanders in the United States do not want this deal.
Okay, so where does all this craziness lead? What happens next? Let's break down the 3 most likely scenarios. It's either a deal,
a full-blown escalation, or something much messier in between.
So, best case scenario, we get a deal. The Strait of Hormuz reopens, oil prices drop, and the war is paused. Though, let's be real, it's definitely not over. The worst case is a catastrophic escalation. The deadline expires, the US strikes Iran's power grid, and oil shoots past $150 a barrel. But what's probably going to happen? The messy middle, ambiguity. The deadline gets extended, the indirect talks just drag on, and the war simmers at this low intensity with no clean resolution in sight.
Okay, with all these conflicting signals flying around, how do we know what's really happening? Forget the press conferences for a minute. Here are the concrete, real-world signals you actually need to watch.
So here's what you need to keep your eyes on over the next 72 hours. First, does the U.S. negotiator, J.D. Vance, actually get on a plane to Pakistan? His physical presence there tells you the talks are real. Second, watch the Strait of Hormuz. Any commercial tanker traffic starting to move is a huge sign of good faith from Iran. And third, watch the 82nd Airborne. Public troop deployments will tell you way more about the Pentagon's true intentions than any press statement ever will.
And we have to be absolutely crystal clear on this point. This 15-point plan is not a peace treaty. It's an opening bid. Think of it as a negotiating position in a super high-stakes game, where the gap between what America demands and what Iran says it will never, ever give, well, that gap is where the next phase of this war is going to be decided.
And that leaves us with one final, really big question. History is just filled with conflicts where negotiations started before either side had really won. And that is so often the most dangerous moment of all, the moment when a catastrophic miscalculation becomes almost inevitable.